Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our Planets Through Ascendant series today. And today we're going to be doing Sun in the third house for Gemini Ascendant. And what happens when Sun is in the third house for Gemini Ascendant person? And this is quite different from my other series I've made of Planets Through Signs and Planets Through Houses, because now we're combining the two things together. Now Sun rules a certain house for a certain ascendant. So dynamic changes a bit. And as always, if you do not know where your Sun is placed, where your other planetary placements are, all my books, for that check out the links here and check out my full astrological report where you'll find all the planetary details, and my books Astrology, Conjunction and Aspects at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations here at this link. So Gemini Ascendant person. For Gemini Ascendant, Sun rules the third house. And Gemini and third house are kind of like the same thing. It's all about communication, journalism, writing, media, skills, great skills of hands, quick thinking. Because that's what a Gemini person is. And Gemini originally rules the third house, so the third house represents the same thing. But third house is also known as like a mild malefic house, because it's eighth from the eighth. Eighth house is like the most malefic, right? From eighth, if you count 8 places from the eighth house, you come back to the third house. So Sun rules this house, which is a house of media, arts, creativity, journalism, skills of hands, information, marketing, PR. And it's also a bit of a mild malefic planet. So what does the Sun do? Because now Sun is in its own house of Leo. Well, what you got to understand, this person will be very, very egoistic. This is kind of like, in a way, a house of ego. Because the person feels, with Sun in the third house, that one is capable of doing things themselves. One is able to achieving things themselves. They don't need the assistance of other people. They don't need a teacher. They don't need a guru. They don't need any advice. They don't need a mentor. They know how to do it. And this kind of brings that arrogance and ignorance into play. Where a person will be like, well, whatever you're teaching me, yeah, I get that, but I think I can do better. So that's kind of like that mild malefic effect of Sun. Because Sun feels that with its own effort, it can achieve whatever it wants, which is a good motivational thing. But that humbleness that you also need, it's kind of like being evaporated by Sun's heat. Yet this person is very dynamic when it comes to the things of the third house: arts, media, creativity, journalism, attaining any skills of hands, whether you're doing arts and painting, sewing, mechanical things, doing technical things like engineer. All of these things can be seen here. And Sun, as you know, represents the government, represents the father, represents authority. So shows that your father perhaps travels a lot for his work. Father's involved in sales. Father, and this is also the house of administration. Father's perhaps maybe a government administration, or father might be in a marketing manager. But the good communication with the father is there. Father is always there to advise you and counsel you and to talk to you like a friend. So that's where that mentorship can take place. But obviously you got to remember, this is not just one planetary position that can give you this. I mean, if there's malefic planets in the third house with the Sun, all the malefic planets aspect the Sun, then you'll feel like your father is not helping you develop your ego, because Sun is the ego. And third house is that self-made ego. But mainly for Gemini Ascendant person, see, Gemini is a dual-natured sign. It represents change. It represents, this transformation. Always wanting to do something different, always have different ideas, always do something, unique. But the sign of Leo is a fixed sign. It is a fixed sign. This shows that whatever their third house matter is, they are very fixed upon those things. So let's say if they want to attain like skills of film editing, Film editing is like using your hands, back in the days to cut the film. I've done all that. But now it's digital, but still you're using your mouse and your keyboard to edit things. Like I'm going to be editing this video. So their skills are fixed. They're like, I want to master this skill. I want to see what editing is all about. I want to do editing. So they're not going to be like, okay, well, from editing, I'll just do mechanical engineering. No. So this is where that Gemini's quick thinking is transported into its fixed skills of film editing. And it could be anything. It could be painting. It could be sewing. It could be martial arts. It could be, just being an athlete, because third house represents that courage. You have a lot of courage here to take on challenges, to take on, opponents. But they become very fixed. So like Ronda Rousey, greatest fighter, man. It was an awesome fight in UFC that I saw her last fight. It was far better than like Mayweather and Pacquiao, man. It was crazy. But like a fighter has his fixed values in the third house. I am here to fight with my hands. I don't really want to learn film editing. But if it was like a dual sign or let's say movable sign, then it would be like, well, I can attain these skills, that skills, that skills. But this is why Geminis are so good, in business and in different things, because they're able to apply their fixed skills of, let's say, salesmanship and marketing into any other avenue they want. But Sun, as you know, is the illuminary. Meaning it illuminates things, it brightens things up wherever it sits. So shows that the person, the light, like you're standing here, there's a flashlight here of the sun in the third house. The focus since your birth is like the third house matter. Third house matter are becoming illuminated. And remember, according to Bhrigu Samhita, it shows us that wherever sun is placed, it kind of shows your purpose of birth, what you might be doing for earning money. Third house represents they will be focused and could be earning money from fields of third house, which is either attaining some sort of a skills, and let's say being a mechanic, being an engineer, or you can be a journalist, you can be a writer, you can be an actor, you can be a stage performer, you can be an athlete. But that third house is being really brightened up because sun is in its own sign of Leo. You want to express yourself dynamically and creatively and be that lion through your skills. You're like, I don't want you to really pay attention to me. My skills is what you need to pay attention to. Like somebody who's a hip hop artist, they go into battle, they're like, don't look at me, man. Look at my skills of rhymes. Because third house is also that, because third house represents writing. And it's also your intelligence. So you are very bright when it comes to, understanding things and how to grasp certain things. This is why this is a very, very good, powerful sun. The only that malefic side comes into play is that sun can just give a little too much ego or too much ruggedness in your personality. Like, I can achieve it. I can do it. I don't need this. Whatever. So that's the only thing that you need to hear. But this is a great position for somebody, who wants to achieve success in arts, media, creativity, music, whatever your creative skills are. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of sun in the third house for Gemini ascendant people. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your sun is placed, all your planetary placements, all my books and consultations, for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.